A watershed is an area of land that drains into a particular body of water, such as a river or a lake. It is sometimes called a basin or a drainage basin. And we all live in a watershed. Some of us live in multiple watersheds because some watersheds, like that of a stream or a creek, are small and they feed into larger watersheds. Therefore, we can be a part of the small watershed, the larger watershed to which that one belongs, and a larger one still. Some watersheds, like the Chesapeake Bay, are very large because they encompass a number of smaller watersheds, including the James River Watershed. The James River is Virginia's largest river, flowing across the entire state. It begins in the mountains where the Cow Pasture and Jackson Rivers meet in Botetourt County and ends at the Chesapeake Bay in Hampton Roads. The James is Virginia's largest tributary to the Chesapeake Bay. It is 340 miles long and is fed by 15,000 miles of tributaries, which makes it one of the longest rivers in America that both begins and ends in the same state, our wonderful state of Virginia. The James River Watershed is composed of 3 sections, which correspond to the geographical sections of Virginia. The Upper James Watershed begins in Allegheny County and travels through the Allegheny and the Blue Ridge Mountains until it reaches Lynchburg, at which point it becomes the Middle James, which runs from Lynchburg to the Fall Line in Richmond. The Lower James stretches from the Fall Line all the way to the Chesapeake Bay. The James River Watershed makes up a small part of the larger Chesapeake Bay Watershed. The Chesapeake Bay Watershed spans more than 64,000 square miles. It has parts of 6 states within it: Delaware, Maryland, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, and the entire District of Columbia. More than 18 million people live in the Chesapeake Bay Watershed. Water cycles continuously through our watershed. It's responsible for keeping living things alive. Water can move across the surface of the land, or it can move through the land as groundwater. It always moves from the highest point to the lowest point in the watershed, which is why it will pool in our waterways. As water moves, it picks up everything it comes in contact with along the way. So it's up to us to help make sure that it doesn't come in contact with things that will contaminate or pollute the water. Everybody lives downstream.